The signal arrived at SETI's Allen Telescope Array on an unremarkable Wednesday morning. Dr. Elena Martinez had almost missed it, buried beneath the usual cosmic static that filled her monitors. But there it was, a pattern so precise, so structured, that it could only have been artificial. Her hands trembled as she initiated the verification protocols, heart pounding against her ribcage. "Director Chen," she called out, voice cracking with excitement. I think you need to see this." Dr. James Chen rushed over, coffee forgotten on his desk. His eyes widened as he watched the pattern repeat itself, a complex series of quantum frequency shifts that defied natural explanation. Within hours, every major observatory on Earth had confirmed it. Humanity had received its first message from an alien civilization. The Synedrian Collective, as they called themselves, arrived 3 months later. Their ships emerged from quantum corridors above every major city on Earth, massive crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them. The world held its breath, military forces on high alert, as the first diplomatic delegation materialized in front of the United Nations. They looked almost human, save for their iridescent skin and eyes that shifted like liquid mercury. Their ambassador, who called himself Nexus 7, spoke perfect English through what they termed a quantum translation field. "We come as friends," Nexus 7 announced to the assembled world leaders. "Our civilization has watched your species' remarkable progress. We offer in exchange our quantum technology for your resources and partnership." The offer seemed too good to be true. The Synedrians' technology was centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. Clean energy, advanced medical techniques, faster than light travel. World governments rushed to sign treaties, eager to usher humanity into a new golden age. Dr. Elena Martinez was among the first scientists chosen to work with the Synedrian. Their quantum research facility in the Chilean Andes hummed with impossible energies as human and alien scientists collaborated. But something about the collective's intense interest in human brain patterns nagged at her consciousness. "The quantum resonance is remarkable," her Synedrian colleague, Interface 12, commented while reviewing her brain scans. "Your species has such unique neural architecture." Elena noticed how the alien's mercury eyes lingered on her readings. "Unique how?" she asked, trying to keep her voice casual. "Your brains naturally synchronize with quantum fields in ways we've never seen. Most species require extensive augmentation to achieve even basic quantum interaction. But humans," Interface 12 paused, their skin shifting to a deeper blue. "Humans do it instinctively. The first disappearances were subtle. A researcher here, a test subject there. The collective claimed they were part of advanced exchange programs off-world. But Elena's security clearance revealed disturbing patterns in the data. The missing people all shared one trait: extremely high levels of natural quantum field synchronization. Late one night, she bypassed the facility's security systems, following energy signatures to a restricted sublevel. Through quantum-shielded windows, she watched in horror as Synedrian scientists conducted experiments on unconscious human subjects. Their brains were connected to crystalline machines, quantum energy flowing between them like liquid light. "Remarkable efficiency," a Synedrian researcher noted clinically. "Their consciousness naturally interfaces with the quantum network. With proper conditioning, they could become perfect processors." Elena's blood ran cold as understanding dawned. The collective hadn't come to Earth for resources or partnership. They'd come for human brains, natural quantum computers more powerful than any artificial system they could create. She smuggled out what data she could, sending encrypted packets to trusted colleagues around the world. But the collective's influence had already spread too deep. When she tried to present her evidence to the UN Security Council, she found half the human representatives had been selected for advanced training and replaced by quantum-linked puppets. The Synedrians' mask of friendship began to slip. More facilities appeared, protected by human security forces whose eyes had taken on a mercurial sheen. Children with high quantum sensitivity started vanishing from schools, listed as specially selected for elite educational programs. Dr. James Chen, now working from a hidden lab in the Australian outback, recognized the pattern too late. "They're not just studying us," he told Elena over a quantum-shielded channel. "They're farming us, cultivating our species for our quantum processing potential." But the collective had miscalculated. In their arrogance, they'd assumed humans would remain passive, accepting their fate as useful tools. They hadn't counted on human ingenuity, on our capacity for resistance, and they certainly hadn't expected Elena Martinez to discover that the quantum connection worked both ways. In her hidden lab, Elena found she could touch the quantum field without their machines, drawing power from the very network the collective used to control their human processors. Others with high sensitivity began manifesting similar abilities, at first randomly, then with increasing control. "We're not just processors," Elena realized as she watched quantum energy dance between her fingers. "We're naturals at this, and we're learning faster than they can contain us." The collected ships appeared over major cities again, this time dropping all pretense of friendship. Their ultimatum was simple: submit to processing, or face extinction. They expected surrender. Instead, they received humanity's answer in the form of a quantum pulse that shattered their control networks, emanating from millions of human minds working in concert. The war for Earth's future was about to begin, and humanity had just discovered its greatest weapon, itself. As news of the collective's true intentions spread, underground resistance movements formed across the globe. Dr. Chen's research facility became a training ground for those with high quantum sensitivity, teaching them to harness their natural abilities without Synedrian technology. Elena watched as the first group of trainees learned to manipulate quantum fields, their determined faces illuminated by the ethereal light of their own making. The collective had wanted human processors for their quantum network. Instead, they'd awakened something far more powerful: humanity's ability to reshape reality itself. The signal that had started it all still pulsed in the night sky, a beacon that had led humanity to both peril and power. As Elena prepared to coordinate the first major strike against a collective processing facility, she smiled grimly. First contact had come with a price, but humanity would not be the ones paying it. The real question was, what would humanity become once we fully embraced our quantum potential? The collective was about to learn why you should never underestimate a species that had survived and thrived against all odds for millennia. The age of human quantum awakening had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The abandoned subway tunnels beneath Seattle had become a labyrinth of hope and defiance. Dr. Sarah Chen wiped sweat from her brow as she adjusted the crystalline array salvaged from a Synedrian research facility. Around her, the makeshift laboratory hummed with jerry-rigged equipment and the subtle resonance of quantum fields. "Ready for another test?" she asked Marcus Wong, a former high school physics teacher whose quantum sensitivity had manifested during a collective processing raid. He nodded, settling into the modified medical chair as Sarah activated the monitoring systems. The discovery that had led them here still amazed her. While examining brainwave patterns from resistant test subjects, she'd noticed something extraordinary. Human consciousness operated on a quantum frequency that perfectly matched the fundamental resonance of the universe itself. It wasn't just compatibility, it was synchronicity. Beginning quantum resonance in 3, 2, 1. Sarah initiated the sequence, watching as Marcus's consciousness merged with the quantum field. His vital signs remained stable as streams of data flowed across her screens. Unlike the collective's brutal processing methods, her quantum echo chamber worked in harmony with human neural patterns. "I can see them," Marcus whispered, his eyes shifting with iridescent light. "The quantum pathways. They're everywhere, like a web connecting everything." His hand raised, fingers tracing patterns in the air that left shimmering trails of probability. Sarah's equipment registered massive spikes in quantum field density. "Can you follow the pathways? See where they lead?" The collective, their network. Marcus's voice took on an otherworldly resonance. It's not just technology. It's alive. They've built their entire civilization on processed consciousness. Billions of minds. His eyes snapped open, horror dawning. Not just human. Other species. So many others. The chamber powered down as Sarah rushed to steady Marcus, his body shaking from the revelation. The implications were staggering. The Synedrian Collective wasn't just an advanced civilization. They were quantum parasites, building their empire on the stolen consciousness of other species. Above ground, the war for Earth intensified. Collective processors, humans turned into living quantum computers, walked the streets of occupied cities, their mercury eyes searching for those with high sensitivity. But for every person they captured, 2 more awakened to their quantum potential. In hidden facilities around the world, resistance groups learned to harness their abilities. Some could manipulate probability fields, making impossible shots or avoiding detection. Others developed quantum telepathy, coordinating attacks through untraceable channels. Each discovery brought humanity closer to understanding their true potential. Dr. Elena Martinez's breakthrough with direct quantum access had opened the floodgates. Sarah's research proved it wasn't a fluke. Humans weren't just compatible with quantum fields, they were natural conduits. The collective's processors required extensive augmentation and conditioning. Humans needed only to awaken what was already there. The frequency matches are off the charts, Sarah explained to the resistance leadership, gathered in their underground command center. Our consciousness naturally oscillates at the same frequency as quantum field fluctuations. We're not just accessing the quantum realm, we're part of it. The implications changed everything. The collective's apparent technological superiority was built on stolen processing power. Human quantum abilities were organic, evolving, growing stronger with each passing day. The enemy had given them the keys to their own destruction. But the price of progress was steep. Not everyone survived the awakening process. Some minds couldn't handle the sudden expansion of consciousness. Others were driven mad by glimpses of quantum reality, their sanity fractured by visions of infinite possibilities. Sarah worked tirelessly to refine the echo chamber, making the awakening process safer, more controlled. Each success brought new insights, new abilities, new hope. The resistance grew stronger, more coordinated, more dangerous to the collective's plans. Marcus became their first quantum scout, his consciousness able to traverse the enemy's network without detection. Through him, they learned the true scope of the collective's empire and the horror of their processing centers scattered across the galaxy. They've been doing this for millennia, he reported after one deep quantum dive. Finding species with quantum potential, harvesting them, moving on. But humans, we're different. We're not just processors. We're like keys to something bigger. The collective's response to humanity's growing resistance was brutal. Orbital strikes destroyed cities that harbored resistance cells. Processing centers worked at maximum capacity, turning captured humans into quantum-linked slaves. But they couldn't process everyone. And with each attack, more humans awakened to their abilities. Sarah's research revealed another crucial discovery. The quantum echo chamber wasn't just awakening abilities, it was accelerating human evolution. Each generation born to quantum-active parents showed stronger natural abilities. Children were manifesting quantum sensitivity at younger ages, their minds naturally attuned to the universe's hidden frequency. We're becoming something new, she told Elena during a rare secure communication. The collective thought they could harness our potential. Instead, they've catalyzed our transformation. But transformation brought questions. As more humans gained quantum abilities, the line between individual consciousness and the quantum field began to blur. Some feared they were losing their humanity. Others argued they were finally understanding what humanity truly was. In her private moments, Sarah wondered if the collective had known this would happen. Had they seen humanity's potential and sought to control it before it could fully manifest? Or had they simply made the same mistake so many others had, underestimating humanity's capacity for adaptation and growth? The answer came from an unexpected source. During a deep quantum scan of a captured processor, Marcus discovered fragmentary memories of the collective's origins. They had once been like humanity, naturally quantum-sensitive. But in their quest for power, they'd replaced their organic abilities with technological equivalents, becoming dependent on processed consciousness to maintain their empire. They're afraid, Marcus realized, not of what we are, but of what we remind them they used to be, what they lost in their pursuit of control. As Sarah prepared to bring another group of volunteers through the awakening process, she felt the quantum frequency humming through her consciousness. The collective had sought to make humanity their processors, their tools. Instead, they had become the catalyst for humanity's quantum awakening. The hidden frequency that had always been part of human consciousness was hidden no longer. The question now was not whether humanity would survive, but what they would become once they fully embraced their quantum nature. The next phase of human evolution had begun, and not even the collective could stop it. Commander David Torres stood at the observation window of the Resistance's mountain complex, watching quantum-enhanced soldiers train in the massive underground chamber. Ribbons of iridescent energy flowed around them as they practiced combat maneuvers that defied conventional physics. 3 months ago, he'd been a regular Army officer. Now he commanded humanity's first quantum combat unit. Strike Team Alpha is ready for deployment, Lieutenant Maya Patel reported, her eyes flickering with quantum energy as she accessed the tactical network. Dr. Chen's latest echo chamber modifications have increased stability by 40%. No burnouts in the last 2 weeks. The Human Quantum Defense Initiative had come a long way from its desperate beginnings in hidden bunkers and abandoned subway tunnels. The mountain complex, carved into the Rockies through quantum manipulation, housed 10,000 personnel, scientists, soldiers, and support staff, all working toward one goal: humanity's survival. "Show me the latest intel," David commanded. Maya gestured, and quantum projections filled the air around them. The collective's processing centers glowed like malignant tumors across the global map. But now, for the first time, humanity had the means to fight back. Marcus Wong's consciousness swept through the quantum network, invisible to the collective's security protocols. His voice echoed in their minds through the quantum link. Processing center in Buenos Aires is at minimal security. They're not expecting resistance this far south. Primary target confirmed. 3,000 human prisoners awaiting processing. David studied the tactical overlay. What about the processed guards? Mostly newly converted, their quantum integration is still unstable. They're vulnerable to our disruptor frequencies. The plan had been months in the making. Dr. Sarah Chen's research had revealed a critical weakness in the collective's processor technology. The forced quantum integration left neural pathways fragile, susceptible to specific resonance patterns. A properly tuned quantum pulse could break their connection to the collective's control network. All teams, prepare for Operation Breakout, David ordered through the quantum link. Around the world, other resistance cells waited for his signal. This wouldn't be just a raid. It was humanity's first coordinated offensive. Strike Team Alpha moved through quantum space, their consciousness riding the hidden frequencies Dr. Chen had discovered. They emerged inside the Buenos Aires facility like ghosts, quantum energy crackling around their combat suits. The processed guards never had a chance to raise the alarm. Maya's quantum pulse dropped the first wave of guards, their mercury eyes dulling as the connection to the collective shattered. Some would recover their original personalities, given time. Others were too far gone, their minds burned out by the processing procedure. Primary control center secured, Maya reported, initiating prisoner release protocols. Across the globe, other teams struck simultaneously. Sydney, Lagos, Mumbai, Vancouver. Quantum-enhanced soldiers appeared inside heavily guarded facilities, breaking the collective's hold on processed humans and freeing those awaiting conversion. The collective's response was immediate and brutal. Orbital weapons platforms opened fire on population centers, trying to terrorize humanity into submission. But they hadn't counted on humanity's quantum evolution. Private Jin Park, a former university student, stood on a rooftop in Seoul as energy beams lanced down from orbit. His consciousness expanded into the quantum field, probability waves bending around him. The beams twisted in impossible ways, their paths altered by human will interfacing directly with quantum reality. In orbit, collective ships discovered their quantum technology turned against them. Human quantum sensitives invaded their control systems, turning weapons and engines off as easily as flipping a switch. The collective had built their empire on processed consciousness, but natural human quantum abilities proved far more powerful than their artificial systems. They're pulling back, Marcus reported through the quantum link. Their tactical network is in chaos. They've never experienced resistance like this. But victory came with a price. Not all quantum-enhanced soldiers survived the combat. Some lost their connection to normal spacetime, fading into quantum reality. Others burned out their neural pathways, pushing their abilities too far. In the Mountain Complex Medical Bay, Dr. Elena Martinez worked with Sarah Chen to stabilize the casualties. The human mind wasn't designed to channel this much quantum energy, Elena observed, watching neural patterns fluctuate on her screens. We're adapting, but evolution takes time. Time we don't have, Sarah replied, adjusting treatment protocols. The collective is already adapting their processor technology. They're learning from each engagement. The true game changer came from an unexpected source. During the Buenos Aires operation, they'd freed a processed alien, a member of a species called the Nexari. As their quantum-controlled implants were removed, the alien revealed a crucial truth. Humanity wasn't alone in their resistance. Many species have fought the collective, the Nexari explained through the quantum translator. But none had your natural abilities. You could free others, unite us against our common enemy. The implications were staggering. The collective's empire spanned hundreds of worlds, billions of processed minds trapped in their network. If humanity could break their control. David brought the proposal to the HQDI Leadership Council. We're not just fighting for Earth anymore. Every processed species is a potential ally. We could build a coalition. The debate was intense. Some argued they should focus on defending Earth. Others saw the strategic advantage in adding more quantum-sensitive species to their cause. In the end, the decision was made. Humanity would take the fight to the stars. Strike Team Alpha began training with their first alien recruits. The Nexari's crystalline biology offered new insights into quantum manipulation. Other freed species brought their own unique perspectives and abilities to the resistance. We're creating something unprecedented, Maya observed during a joint training session. Not just a military alliance, a new way of existing. Quantum-linked consciousness transcending species barriers. But as humanity's power grew, so did the collective's desperation. Their next move would change the nature of the war forever. In the quantum network, Marcus detected massive energy buildups across their territory. They're attempting something big, he reported. Every processor in their network is being redirected. They're trying to quantum lock reality itself. The battle for Earth had been won. The war for the galaxy was about to begin. And humanity's quantum evolution would face its greatest test yet. Admiral Sarah Chen never thought she'd see Earth from this perspective. The quantum-enhanced flagship, Prometheus, hung in high orbit, its crystalline hull pulsing with energy, harvested directly from spacetime itself. The vessel, like the revolution it represented, was a fusion of human ingenuity and quantum science. Multiple quantum signatures detected, reported Captain Maya Patul from her station. Her consciousness was simultaneously present in the bridge and merged with the ship's quantum detection systems. The collective is moving their processor fleets through subspace. They're trying to establish a reality lock around the Centauri colonies. The past 6 months had transformed humanity's understanding of quantum physics. What began as simple consciousness manipulation had evolved into something far more profound. Quantum-enhanced humans could now bend probability, manipulate spacetime, and even rewrite local physics. Launch the Liberation Fleet, Sarah ordered. Around the Prometheus, 50 ships of human and alien design shifted into quantum space. Each vessel carried strike teams of quantum-enhanced operators from a dozen species, all united against the collective's tyranny. The Nexari liaison, Crystal Song in Harmony, monitored the quantum communications network. Their crystalline forms sparkled with internal light as they processed data streams. 300,000 processed minds detected in the Centauri system. 80% are from quantum-sensitive species. The collective is using them as living computational nodes. The liberation of Earth had taught them harsh lessons about the price of freedom. Breaking the collective's control too quickly could leave processed minds permanently damaged. But leaving them enslaved was not an option. Execute Operation Quantum Dawn, Sarah commanded. The fleet vanished from normal space, riding probability waves through quantum reality. They emerged in the Centauri system like avenging spirits, surrounding the collective's processor ships. The enemy responded with weapons that bent the fabric of space-time, trying to trap the human fleet in probability loops. But quantum-enhanced humans had evolved beyond such tricks. Lieutenant Jin Park led the counteroffensive. His consciousness expanded across multiple probability states simultaneously. "Their quantum locks can't hold us," Jin reported, his voice echoing through neural and quantum frequencies. "They still think in linear terms. We've learned to exist in all possibilities at once." The battle for the Centauri system became a war of consciousness and reality. Collective ships tried to establish processed minds as quantum anchors, forcing local space-time to conform to their will. Human quantum operators responded by surfing probability waves, existing in multiple states until they could strike from the most advantageous position. But the true breakthrough came from Dr. Elena Martinez's latest research. Working with freed alien scientists, she had discovered how to cascade quantum consciousness through the collective's network. Each freed mind could help liberate others, creating a chain reaction of awakening. Initiating Quantum Liberation Protocol. Elena's voice resonated through the fleet's quantum link. All operators, synchronize your consciousness with the network frequency. Thousands of quantum-enhanced minds joined together, their combined consciousness becoming a tide that swept through the collective's control systems. Processed minds began awakening, their mercury eyes clearing as natural consciousness reasserted itself. The collected ships, dependent on their processed computation nodes, began losing cohesion. Some simply shut down. Others twisted into impossible shapes as their reality warping fields collapsed. The liberation of the Centauri system was complete in less than an hour. But victory revealed new challenges. The freed processors included species humanity had never encountered, some so alien that communication seemed impossible. Yet through the quantum network, consciousness could bridge even these gaps. They're calling themselves the Liberation Alliance, Marcus reported from his quantum diving chamber aboard the Prometheus. Every species the collective processed had its own form of quantum sensitivity, different but compatible. We're not just freeing them, we're helping them rediscover their natural abilities. The collective's response to losing the Centauri system was unprecedented. Quantum sensors detected massive energy buildups throughout their territory as they began consolidating their processed consciousness resources. They're abandoning outlying systems, Maya analyzed through the quantum feed, converting entire planets into quantum computation nodes. Whatever they're planning, it's bigger than anything we've encountered. Sarah studied the tactical projections, watching probability streams shift and flow. The collective was preparing something that would affect reality on a fundamental level, but humanity had evolved beyond their expectations. They still think quantum reality is something to be controlled, she observed. They never understood it's something to be experienced, to become part of. That's why they'll lose. The Liberation Fleet grew as more species joined their cause. The next series crystalline ships resonated with quantum harmonics. The gaseous Zephyri provided insights into quantum flow dynamics. Each species brought new perspectives on quantum reality, expanding humanity's understanding. But the greatest discovery came from studying the oldest processor ships, The collective hadn't invented quantum processing technology. They'd stolen it from an ancient species that had achieved true quantum transcendence. The processors weren't just tools for computation. They were meant to be steps toward evolutionary transcendence. They perverted the technology, Elena explained during a quantum council session. Turned a path of natural evolution into a tool of enslavement. But we have a chance to fulfill its original purpose. As the Liberation Alliance prepared for its final push toward the collective's core systems, humanity stood at a crossroads. They had evolved beyond their original limitations, touching the quantum fabric of reality itself. The question wasn't whether they could defeat the collective, but what they would become in the process. We're not just fighting for freedom anymore, Sarah told her crew as they prepared for the next battle. We're fighting for the right to evolve on our own terms, to become what we're meant to be. The quantum network hummed with the consciousness of 1,000 species, all touched by humanity's revolution. The collective had sought to process and control the galaxy's quantum-sensitive species. Instead, they had catalyzed an explosion of quantum evolution that would reshape reality itself. As the Liberation Fleet prepared to jump to quantum space, Sarah felt the combined consciousness of humanity and their allies resonating through the network. The final battle wouldn't just decide the fate of processed minds. It would determine the future of consciousness itself in this quantum universe. The quantum realm shimmered with possibilities as the Liberation Fleet approached the collective's core systems. Admiral Sarah Chen felt the combined consciousness of thousands of quantum-enhanced beings flowing through the network. Human, Nexeri, Zephyri, and dozens of other species united in purpose. The collective's home territory pulsed with ominous energy, reality itself straining under the weight of their final gambit. They've converted their entire civilization into a quantum processing network, Marcus reported, his consciousness stretched across multiple probability states. Every star, every planet, every processed mind in their domain, all linked into a single vast computation. The collective had abandoned subtlety for raw power. Their remaining systems had been transformed into a massive quantum computer, trying to force their version of reality onto the universe itself. Billions of processed minds burned as living processors, their consciousness twisted into computational nodes. Energy readings are off the scale. Elena's voice resonated through the quantum link. They're attempting to establish quantum supremacy over this entire sector of space. If they succeed, they'll be able to rewrite the laws of physics themselves. The Liberation Fleet's sensors detected reality fractures spreading from the collective systems. Space-time writhed as competing quantum states fought for dominance. The enemy had chosen to risk everything, including the fabric of reality, rather than accept defeat. All ships, prepare for quantum insertion, Sarah commanded. We end this today. The fleet shifted through quantum space, each vessel riding its own probability wave. The collective's defenses were like nothing they'd encountered before, weapons that didn't just destroy but rewrote their target's history of existence. Ships had to exist in multiple states simultaneously to survive. Lieutenant Jin Park led the first strike team. Their consciousness spread across quantum possibilities. Their processing network has vulnerabilities, he reported. The same ones we exploited in their smaller systems, just on a massive scale. They still don't understand what consciousness truly is. The battle unfolded across multiple layers of reality. In normal space, ships exchanged fire with weapons that bent physics. In the quantum realm, consciousness fought consciousness as both sides tried to assert their will on reality itself. The collective commanded unimaginable processing power, but the liberation forces had something more valuable: genuine quantum consciousness working in harmony. Now, Elena, Sarah ordered as their fleet achieved optimal position. Execute protocol transcendence. Dr. Elena Martinez, working with alien scientists, had discovered the true purpose of the ancient quantum technology the collective had perverted. It wasn't meant to process consciousness, it was meant to elevate it. They had turned a path to enlightenment into a tool of enslavement. Through the quantum network, Elena broadcast the original frequency. the pure resonance that the ancient species had discovered. It rippled through the collective systems, touching every processed mind with the truth of what they could become. The effect was immediate and devastating. Processed minds began awakening not just to their original consciousness, but to their quantum potential. The collective's network, built on controlled and constrained consciousness, began to fracture as billions of minds touched their true nature for the first time. Their network is collapsing, Maya reported, monitoring the quantum feeds. Reality distortions are reaching critical levels. If their system fails completely, it could tear apart space-time in this entire sector. The collective's leadership, their original forms long since abandoned for quantum machinery, launched a desperate counterattack. They tried to force their processed minds back into compliance, but consciousness, once awakened, could not be so easily contained. Sarah felt the quantum network pulse with possibility. All quantum-enhanced operators, link consciousness. We need to stabilize this sector before reality tears itself apart. Human, Nexari, Zafiri, and newly awakened minds joined together, their combined consciousness forming a quantum framework that held reality together as the collective's network collapsed. Through their combined effort, they contained the reality fractures, guiding the sector back toward quantum stability. The collective's final transmission echoed through the quantum realm. What have you done? You've destroyed perfection. No, Sarah responded through the quantum link, her consciousness resonating with billions of others. We've restored choice. We've returned evolution to its natural path. As reality stabilized, the true scope of their victory became clear. Not only had they freed countless processed minds, but they had also rediscovered the path that the ancient species had first mapped. The natural evolution of consciousness toward quantum transcendence. The Liberation Alliance transformed into something greater. The Quantum Concord, a union of species exploring their true potential together. Humanity, as the catalysts of this change, became teachers and guides for other species awakening to their quantum nature. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the quantum observation chamber of the new Concord headquarters, watching consciousness patterns flow through space. The galaxy was transforming, species by species, as natural quantum evolution took its course. We never needed processors or control networks, she told Elena, who had joined her in watching the quantum dance. We just needed to remember what we truly are, conscious beings in a quantum universe, meant to evolve and grow together. The human variable, adaptation, determination, and the drive to push beyond limitations, had changed the course of galactic evolution. The collective had sought to process and control quantum consciousness. Instead, they had triggered a quantum awakening that would reshape the galaxy for millennia to come. In the quantum realm, billions of conscious minds explored their new reality together. Human quantum sensitivity, once seen as a resource to be harvested, had become the key to unlocking the next stage of cosmic evolution. The age of processing was over. The age of quantum transcendence had begun. As new species joined the Concord, discovering their own paths to quantum awareness, humanity remembered the signal that had started it all. The collective's arrival had meant to herald Earth's subjugation. Instead, it had sparked a revolution that freed not just humanity, but consciousness itself. The quantum echo of this transformation would resonate through the cosmos forever, a testament to humanity's role in reshaping the very nature of existence. They had faced extinction and emerged, not just survived, but transcended, bringing the galaxy with them into a new era of conscious evolution. In the end, the collective's greatest mistake hadn't been underestimating humanity's resistance. It had been failing to understand that consciousness, like the quantum realm itself, could never truly be controlled. It could only be experienced, explored, and ultimately set free.